And I would go from that cafe to a jazz bar, and from the jazz bar, we'd go for a walk along the beach, right? Where I'd try to, like, we'd walk to, like, the quiet end of the beach where it's all, you know, in shadow and stuff. And it's kind of romantic because you hear the waves lapping and see the city lights and stuff. And then I'd try to make out with her. That was the game plan. So in the beginning, this date was a little lumpy. I'd go on this date, and I'd realize I got the timing all wrong. It was supposed to be a 2-hour date. We met at 8 p.m. on a school night. I wasn't at school, of course, at this point in time, but I call it a school night. So we're out there, and you know, we're at dinner for 1 hour and 20 minutes, and then we're at the bar for an hour, and then it's already 10:20, and we both have to go to work in the morning, so no make-out sessions for Damien. You know, lots of little clunky little bits like that. So I refined it piece by piece, and it ended up with a date that got really, really good results. It became a system, and I could just repeat that system, that same first date over and over and over. So to give you an idea, as I refine this date here with the statistics, because I love my numbers, after one of these dates, and we'd end on a makeout, after this date, 91% agreed to dinner and movie at my place for a second date. Yes, read into that. Dinner and a movie at my place. Of those who would come for a dinner and a movie at my place, 89% of those dates would end in sex. Now, I'll tell you something. That date structure is not awesome. By watching clients that I've worked with over the years evolve their own dating first dates, wow, there is so much more than you can do with a date than that kind of boring series of events. But by creating a system that I could repeat, I could get the results, and I could get consistent results over and over and over again. I didn't have to think anymore. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do on this date? What's going to happen? Crap. I didn't have to do that anymore. You see, who would be surprised if someone came up to me today? Imagine one of you came up to me and you said, Damien, you know, I didn't know about your business in Australia. You know, tell me about it. How's it going? And I said, it's going good. And you said to me, cool. How many clients do you usually work with a month? Oh, I'm not sure. A couple, a few. He said, awesome. You know, how many, you know, when you run an event, how many guys generally come to an event of yours? Oh, quite a few. Yeah. How many? Oh, I'm not sure on the exact numbers. Would you expect my business is going to go well in the future? No, of course not. It's so obvious when it's business. It's not so obvious when it's dating. Pickup. We don't think how important that is. But I do want to make a note. Not everything can be systemized. I do want to make this clear. If I'm out on this date, I cannot have the same conversation with every single girl. You can't systemize that. Because at the end of the day, you still have to be able to be charming. You cannot script that stuff. You cannot script how you're going to make a girl laugh. You cannot script how you're going to build rapport. These are skill sets that you need to build. But the overall process is something that you can systemize. You can imagine if I sit down with a client, with someone who's interested to sign up with me. Someone gives me a call and they say, Damien, I'd love to work with you. Cool, let's have a chat. Let's have a coffee. And I sit down with them. Do you think that I sit down with these people, these guys, and just think to myself, well, I'll just kind of sit here and I'll be cool and answer any question it's got, and hopefully I'll get a sale? Do you think that's how it's done? No. Because what I do is I understand I need to take that person through a journey. If you have, who has bought a car before, or a TV, or something they're really excited about? Yes, awesome. When you went to buy that, did you not want that salesperson to get you excited about that product? Yes? And you want to buy something that excites you. Yes, you want it. And also part of you is scared of spending the money. You want that person to solve all of your apprehension and make you feel 100% good about that purchase. So when I meet with a client, I have a system in my head. I know when I sit down with that client, well, the first thing I need to do is I need to laugh with them. I need to be a bit playful and joke around with them. Why? Because that relaxes them. Laughing releases tension and they chill out. And when they relax and they laugh with me, they're more open to me. So when I then go next to start asking about them and their lives and where they're struggling with, they're more open to sharing with me. And I know as part of my system, I have to be genuinely interested to learn about them. Because we'll only open up to people who are genuinely interested in us. So as you can see, I have to go on a journey. From there, what am I going to do? I'm going to talk about, well, this is what I do, and this is how this is exactly going to help the area we're struggling with most, and so on and so forth. There's a system that I follow, okay? Who is in control of that interaction, do you think, at all times?
The salesman.
Yeah. In this case, me. Someone comes to me, they're interested about me and what I do. In this case, I'm the salesman. Yeah, absolutely. And the same should be the case for every interaction that you guys have with women. You should be the one who's in control. You should have in your minds a system that you follow. Let me give you an idea of a system. A system could work like this. You could approach a girl, and the first thing you're going to do is tease her, and then you're going to build rapport, and you're going to tease her again, and then you're going to sexually escalate, and you're going to ask for a number. You can write this system down if you like. It's a system. I'm not saying this is the only way to attract women, because that'd be crap. But this is a system. And it's probably 10 times better than anything you guys are doing right now, because one thing I know is most guys have no strategy at all. So a strategy is better than no strategy. But a strategy that's yours, that you've worked on, that's the best strategy of all. But imagine this is my perfect strategy for a second. I can walk up to a girl, I can be in interaction with her, and the first thing I do is approach, and then I know in my head, this has to be fun. That's all my focus is. Just be playful. Just have fun here. Make this enjoyable. Make this engaging. And once she's laughed, once she's kind of chuckled a bit together, right? And that's a skill set I've worked on. It's a skill set you all need to work on. Once I've done that, I know in my head, now I have to actually learn about her. Now is when I actually have to try to build some rapport, get who she is, what she wants, what makes her tick, make her know that I get where she's coming from. It's about building rapport. And we do this, and often a rapport-based conversation is a bit heavy. So once we've done that, I'm going to make it lighthearted again. I'm going to change, teasing, playfulness. And teasing playfulness is very easy to then segue into being sexual escalation. Now, I'm not going into how this all happens, because that's not the nature of this talk. You can come and chat to me afterwards at any time about anything to do with dating and relationships. But here's the thing. Knowing this means it doesn't matter what emotional state I'm in. It doesn't matter how scared I am or intimidated I am. Because the reality is, I've been doing this pickup stuff for a long, long time. And every now and again, I'm still going to meet a girl who intimidates me. And I know every man in this room has had the experience of walking up, of seeing a girl they like, and you're like, oh my God, she's hot. And you walk over to her, if you find the courage to, you walk over to her, and you're in front of her, and your brain's like, the hell with this, I'm out of here, man. And then you're like, we've all had this experience, right? The higher the stakes, the less your brain functions. We know this. This is a biochemical thing that's going on. Cortisol, a stress hormone, and adrenaline, they prevent your brain from thinking cross-laterally. They prevent your brain from doing a lot of things, especially related to creative thinking, which massively impedes our ability to plan and have forethought and do all these interesting things in interactions. So yes, it's very hard. So the less thinking that your brain needs to do in an interaction or on a date or at any other time, the better prepared you are for when you're intimidated, for when you're tired, for when you've had a bad day. Because when you meet the woman that you want to be with, not just the woman that you want to shag, if you happen to cross paths with a woman who's absolutely right for you, that you'd actually like to seriously date, make it part of your life, you don't want to be too tired to be able to think clearly. You don't want to be too intimidated to do anything good with it and have her pass you by. If you've got a system, you've got something to lean on. You've got something to rely on. You've got something that you can trust. We'll get the job done. In summary, guys, there's 3 things that you absolutely have to do. Number 1, you've got to measure everything. I kid you not. Okay, if you run a business, if you want to get better with women, it is the same thing you must measure. It sounds dumb. Just keep like a spreadsheet, maybe 6 metrics that really matter to you, 7 metrics, write it down. And what you do is you work out what you reckon you could easily make an improvement on. You know, if you think to yourself, well, look, I approach, every 10 girls I approach, 6 girls reject me, 7 girls reject me, that's ridiculous. Then focus all your energy. What could I do that would change it? What could I do that would improve the odds there? And then focus that whole week. Just go out, approach 10, 20 girls. changing that, just that thing, did it make it better? Did it make it worse? If it makes an improvement, you hold on to that bad boy and you test something new the next week. That's how it's done. So you've got to test possible. So there is absolutely no end of really good information. I mean, this weekend, you are going to hear some really awesome stuff. I've met some of the speakers in dating and pickup that are going to be at this event. I've heard all of them before. There's some really awesome stuff. You've got to test it out. Like Socrates said already, you've got action is where it's at. If you don't take action and learn from that action, nothing is ever going to change. And once you've worked out what works, you systemize it. You create a system out of it so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel over and over and over again, which is what most of us do. Most of us jump into every interaction with a girl, and we have to think about every part of that interaction over and over and over again. And then we get lumpy results. We get unpredictability. We keep changing everything. We don't know what works, and we don't know what doesn't work. So guys, let me open up this stage to some questions. We know that I've seen some guys writing some questions down. I don't know if we want to ask the guys themselves or go off the pads of paper. I'll leave that up to Steve.
Guys, so if we have questions with pads of paper, let me know, and we'll field those first. If we have time for the raise the hand Q&A, we'll get to that. All right, we have a question here that says, does it not get boring or less special when you systematize a first date?
Yes, it absolutely does. Well, it doesn't get less special. Here's the thing that happens. Every interaction that you have, right? Every interaction that you have, if the girl herself is boring, and plenty are, you shouldn't be on a date with her. The excitement of an interaction with a girl is not where you go or the journey you take her on. It's the interaction you have with her. It's how her humor is. It's when you build rapport with her. Is there something about her that is fascinating to you? That's the stuff that's exciting. One thing that I experience with most guys is we never put enough weight on that stuff. We think of it as she's hot. Okay, I got to try to make something happen. As opposed to she's hot. Great, that's the first step. Is she also a cool chick? Great, now I'd like to go on a date with her. So yes, if you are with girls who you're just with because they're attractive, that is going to get real boring real quickly. But if it's a girl who's genuinely fascinating to you, it just takes a load off and allows you to actually appreciate what's happening.
Anybody else with a question? Okay, how long did it take you to develop your dating system?
Yeah, good question. Can I just ask a qualifier there? When you say dating system, what do you mean exactly?
Just kind of like what you just kind of walked us through, like your personal one that you use on a daily basis.
The first date?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I put that together. I spent about 2 hours kind of just putting together what I thought would be a good date. After about 5 dates, I would have said I was about 90% of the way there. If that gives you any feedback. It didn't take long.
What else do we got?
So then what's the end goal? Is it to sleep with a lot of women, or is it just to have the ability to sleep with a lot of women, or is it to find someone that you really want and do that quickly or not make a mistake? What's the end goal?
Yeah, actually that's a really good question. I'm actually really happy you asked that.
Coaching. He's also the founder of the School of Attraction, an NLP practitioner. Let's all welcome Damien Diecke. What's up, man?
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Clump them together into a system. And then you follow that system. You make it as simple as possible, but no simpler. And, in shadow and stuff. And it's kind of romantic because you hear the waves lapping and you see the city lights and stuff. And then I try to make out with it. That was the game plan. So in the beginning, this date was a little lumpy. I'd go on, comes to me, they're interested about me and what I do. In this case, I'm the salesman. Yeah, absolutely. And this is a system. And it's probably 10 times better than anything you guys are doing right now, because one thing I know is most guys have no strategy at all. So a strategy is better than no strategy. Cool, it's nice to meet you. Got to go back to my girlfriends now. That's a sort of a very quick, snappy rundown of a woman's difficulty in dating. Women suffer just as much, if not more, than men with dating relationships. You guys may be surprised with that, but wow, the pain that the women go through is no more or less than what I deal with guys all the time.